If living in France for the last 8 years of my life has taught me anything, it's the power of protest.
Now, I don't want to say I told you so, but remember my video in front of the Egyptian obelisk in Paris when I said France owes everything to Africa? Well, since Africa has started seizing back their resources, France is literally collapsing like today.
Have you guys seen the current situation in France lately? No, because don't call me a witch. I am not a petty witch. All I'm trying to say is, welcome to the third world community, France. How you doing, baby? How you doing? Macron, where are you, babe? Like, right now, we are no longer beefing with Macron. Like, thank you, Charlie Kirk. Right now, Candace Owens is down with Macron, like, and Brigitte. We are no longer talking about them. They're not even a situation right now. They're not in our mouths because the country itself is a big problem towards Macron. The entire world is laughing. France, do you have any gold? Like, bro, imagine if like I see a video on the internet where like a black person is in France, and then like we found like French people begging like this, and then it's black people that are giving them something to eat. I'm sorry, white people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And let me tell you something, white people. I promise you, I genuinely have nothing against you. It's just that, man, every single day of my life, I see somewhere a commercial of the UN or like a commercial of white people literally saying, an African child is hungry. Feed her today. And those kids be from which country? The Democratic Republic of Congo. They be from which country? Burundi. Oh, please send your old clothes. We're going to take them to Africa. The kids in Senegal have nothing to wear. Meanwhile, you are collecting all your used clothes, bringing them to Africa. Meanwhile, you are collecting billions and billions worth of oil and gold.
Up next, how RUGF is saving lives around the world. UNICEF teams work around the world and around the clock to provide malnutrition treatment to kids in need. In fact, in South Sudan alone, UNICEF and partners treat nearly 250,000 children every year with RUGF.
I am so pissed right now. Honestly, yeah, watch the next one for yourself, because I can't be pissed alone. When I tell you I want to see these folks also begging on the streets, I kid you not. Now I want you to watch this video of this white woman busy having a black child. Feeding him breadcrumbs. Wait for it. Wait for it. Look at that. Wait for it. Now this is the most annoying part. Wait for it. Look at that. Now wait for it. Wait for it. This child is being treated like a dog. Now wait for it. This is the part that pisses me off the most. Ladies and gentlemen, an average domestic dog eats better than millions of kids. Where help feed a starving child. I kid you not. You cannot wake up and tell us you are saving African kids in Sudan when it is you who is benefiting from the country's gold, from the country's oil, making sure any president who comes to stabilize the country, you take them out. They are still paying a debt of colonialism. Meanwhile, your country benefits over 500 billion USD of African people. And then you put the young kids in a commercial. You put out commercials like this to show how poor African kids are, they need feeding. You're helping them to beg, so people can send donations so you can be able to feed them. Meanwhile, it's you who is keeping them in poverty. Wow. Indeed. How a colonizer becomes a savior.
Il est en train de brûler. Oh mon Dieu, non.
What?
So the French have decided to burn down their country. It doesn't make me happy, but you know what would be interesting to see in this part of the world is a travel advisory. Yeah? For our Foreign Affairs Ministry to issue a travel advisory. How the tables turn still doesn't make me happy.
France is broke, and they're expecting their people to work more in order to pay for it. France is drowning in debt, now at a staggering 3.3 trillion euros, with annual interest payments of 60 billion euros. And their solution? Well, the Prime Minister just announced a new austerity plan to bring the deficit down from 5.8 to 3% of GDP by 2029. And the flagship move to do this? Cancelling public holidays, namely Easter Monday and Victory Day in Europe. Clearly not important, and this should generate roughly 4.2 to 4.5 billion in extra revenue by making people work more. On top of that, they're freezing pensions, cutting healthcare by 5 billion euros, and slashing public sector pay and jobs. Because, you know, taking away holidays, taking away pay, and cutting access to critical services is always a good way to keep French people from rioting. And yes, the backlash has already been intense. Unions say this is a real provocation against workers, and both the left and the right are threatening no confidence votes. And half the country thinks this is an assault on French culture identity and hard-earned rest, while the bureaucrats in palaces, like those at the Economic, Social and Environmental Council, enjoy $121,000 salaries, 54 days off, lavish perks, while taxpayers foot the bill, roughly 45 million euros per year. So apparently France isn't suffering from a revenue shortage, it's suffering from bureaucratic bloat and a budget built more on perks than on productivity. But what do you think? Is France overdue a reality check, or is this a step too far? French people, I'm curious.
Now, right now, seeing the situation France in, it is well with my soul. Lord, you have done something in 2025. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section. You know what I'm trying to say is, France, welcome to the third world community. As an African person, I am so proud. I am so proud. Thank you for colonizing us. Yeah, because maybe if you didn't colonize us, you guys wouldn't have been where you are right now. But you treasured yourself so much into colonialism and colonization, and you actually embedded it in us, that it was for our very own good, that now in 2025 we know better. And we are kicking your asses out. And y'all have nothing. Let's see, probably Macron has some gold in the bank somewhere that he kept that's going to literally take French people for the next 100 years. I want to see you happen. At least 30. I want to see you happen. By the time I'm 60, I want to see France, the superpower that it was. And if that happens, I would say, yeah, almighty the French colonizers. But now, I'm just going to rejoice because I'm so happy seeing y'all on the streets. Prime Minister after another, even Macron doesn't know what to do with y'all. Hi, Macron. And y'all better believe when I wake up and say, when black people say they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, they mean it. Y'all clock it. Yeah. This is a daily reminder to black people, y'all have power. And I want to say, shout out to our African American brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Because y'all, let me tell you, y'all don't know how much resilience you teach us, the Africans on the continent. We see the things you do. We'll be like, okay, y'all remember when Michael Langley wanted to take out the president of Burkina Faso and African Americans stood on the streets and they said, let's see you touch him. African people were like, So they care about us. So they can raise a voice for us. Let's become stronger. Now he's still alive and kicking, and he kicked out France. France, about to be a third world country. Don't even say I'm happy, because I'm not evil, guys. I'm not evil. But like, I'm happy. I'm not happy out of evilness. I'm just happy. Have you seen the situation France is in lately, guys? Have you seen the situation France is in lately? Oh, they said Africa is a third world continent. Oh, they said Africans are dirty, Africans are poor, Africans got nothing. Africans are impoverished. Hi, France. How are you? How are you doing, Macron? I want to know from French people, how you're feeling right now? Because right now, black people around the world can stand and say, France is in a bad situation, man. Wow, the happiness I have on my heart. Am I evil? No, I'm not evil, man. I am not evil. I am not evil. What do you mean y'all spent centuries making African countries pay for you colonizing them? Now imagine just 5 countries. Imagine just 5 countries cut off France. Just 5. Now imagine if all the countries France colonized in Africa cut them off. If only 5 countries have made France to go to its downfall. Now imagine if 14 of them. Now black people, we have the power. We have the power. You see, with that man of Burkina Faso, he showed us it's a mindset game. They tell you if you don't listen to us, we will take you out. And he said, try me. My people will come for you. Before African people could do anything, African Americans raised their voice for that man. He's still alive and he is dead free. Dead free. Dead free. Now when I say African countries are setting a standard and preparing for brothers and sisters to come back home. Hi, France. Hi, France. How does it feel?
Yo, France is getting ready to collapse, and nobody's talking about this. And this is not me just fear-mongering. No, look. Fears of French collapse sound the alarms. French stock slides as Paris government faces risk of collapse. Timestamp there. France may need an International Monetary Fund bailout. Reuters, French stocks, bonds tumble as government faces potential collapse. Market Watch talking about the collapse. So what exactly went wrong in France and what's going to happen next? We can see that the public debt hovers around 3.3 trillion euros, which is around 113% gross domestic product, which is the highest in recent history. The budget deficit also remains stubbornly high, projected at 5.4% of GDP in 2025, with warning signs of persistent weak fiscal discipline, pushing it closer to 6% without significant intervention. Now, keep in mind, their goal for their budget deficit is 3%. They're double that, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get down to that 3% anytime soon. So they need an influx of cash desperately, and they may have to turn to the International Monetary Fund to help bail them out. Because once news got out about how bad it really is financially in France, investors immediately started selling off in the stock market and selling their bonds off too. Now, it's important to note that France is the second biggest economy in the European Union. So the fact that they're collapsing means this is going to send shockwaves through the entire European Union. So France really has to do something fast because this is not good for the EU at all. So what options does France really have right now? The first and most important thing that they absolutely have to do is create their own version of what the United States created in Doge. They've already stated that they're spending way too much money and they need to cut back on that wasteful spending. So creating a version of Doge will help cut in to that debt to GDP ratio that's been devastating for them. Next, and as sad as this may be, they may have to take this bailout from the IMF. Obviously, it's not ideal, but in order to keep the country going, you may have to do something like this, but time will tell if they actually do. The last thing they have to do is a confidence vote. Since all of this is happening, they have to decide if the current leader in France is fit to actually lead the country out of the current situation it's in. If the rest of the countries in the EU decide, no, he's not fit for the bill, he's going to get voted out, and they're going to put somebody new in that can help with this problem. So France is on the risk of collapse, and it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with all of this.
Today, on the 18th of September, France people don't block everywhere again. Many students not go school. Buses not they work. Trams not they work. Because everywhere block. The French people, they say make their president, Emmanuel Macron, make it step down. So that the person, when he know the value of the country, go take over. Right now, as we dey talk, Emmanuel Macron deaf. He not dey hear word. When his wife take the slap him. They say since when he enter this position, he don't drag them. From one problem to another problem. From one court case to another court case. We even come make them, come they enter debt. They don't close many of their businesses. They don't shut down many of their nuclear power points.
Des manifestants ont envahi le ministère de l'économie. 85 à 90% des pharmacies sont en grève. Déjà une centaine d'interpellations et des blessés. Les foules crient la même chose. La démission et la destitution du président Macron. Ils n'en veulent plus comme dirigeants. Ils sont lessivés, écœurés par sa gestion chaotique. La répression policière s'abat violemment sur la jeunesse et le pouvoir a trouvé son alibi parfait. Brandir la doctrine de la tolérance zéro pour transformer l'oppression en politique officielle. C'est partout. Et certains n'osent même plus filmer car la pression est écrasante. Voilà la réalité d'un pays en ruine sociale. Un État qui ne tient plus que par la matraque et les grenades. Mais mesdames et messieurs, accrochez-vous. Si vous osez porter un masque ou de simples lunettes pour vous protéger des gaz lacrymaux aspergés par la gendarmerie, vous serez inculpé pour infraction. L'État français contraint ses propres citoyens à respirer ce gaz qu'il répand dans ses rues. Voilà où en est la démocratie française. Cette fameuse démocratie. Mais pourquoi tout cela? Parce que la France s'effondre de l'intérieur. Crise politique, crise économique, crise sociale. Plus rien ne tient debout dans ce pays qui continue pourtant de bomber le torse et de se présenter comme modèle de stabilité au monde. Mais c'est une élite arrogante, aveugle, qui parle de république, de démocratie, tout en piétinant les libertés les plus élémentaires. La France n'est plus une démocratie. C'est une oligarchie policière qui vit sur le dos d'un peuple qu'elle méprise. Ce gouvernement n'a plus de légitimité. Il n'a plus que la peur à offrir et à vendre.
Is it true most of France's financial wealth right now is still built on
$500 billion a year?
Wow. From Africa?
From Africa.
Wow.
500. That's a lot of money.
And is it true that the deals are such that an African nation that has this deal with France cannot do business around the world with their natural resources without the first right of refusal with France?
First right of refusal is in
and they
France's
can still
hand.
tell them no?
They can still tell them no.
So if they've dug gold, coffee, cocoa, whatever, they go to France like, hey, you guys want this? And they say, nah. And they say, okay, we're going to sell it over here. France can still say, nah, you can't do that.
So insane.
And all those nations still run on the French franc, which is also hilarious because even France has
goes
the
on
euro.
the euro.
Exactly.
So wait, they buy money from France with their own natural resources.
Yeah, and if they don't
that's
comply,
not even worth anything in France.
Yep, and if they don't comply, the faucet's turned off.